Hey guys, so the sad day is gonna come when you can't take your big camera bag into an event or on a family vacation just because it's A, not practical, B, it may not be allowed. So things like the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, which is a massive bag that holds every piece of gear I could ever need, and I take it hiking, I take it pretty much everywhere I go. But sometimes you can't bring that in places. So you're gonna have to downsize your gear to the bare minimum just to get the job done. So guys, when you go on shoots like this, generally you'll take one body, one lens, just enough to get the job done. My body and lens of choice is the Sony a7 Mark II with the 28mm f2 lens on it. This is my favorite combo. I've shot with this for about the last year and a half. I've used it for automotive, portraits, landscape, architecture, pretty much everything. This camera has me covered. So guys, the next thing you need to carry is something most Sony owners are pretty familiar with that have ran the a7 series of cameras prior to the Mark III generation. That's spare batteries. You are going to run out of battery if you're going to an event where you're shooting a lot consistently, and generally I don't even wait till they die completely because I do want to have a little bit of assurance that I'm going to be able to keep shooting. So once my battery's at about 20%, I go ahead and swap them, but I carry minimum 5 extra batteries for my GoPro, 2 for my Lumix G7, and 3 for my Sony a7. Next thing to consider, guys, while you're out on a shoot, camera cleanliness. You're going to need to clean lenses. Even from just putting lens caps on and off, my lenses do get dirty in the middle of shoots. I prefer to use lens pens, but just some way to clean your lens while you're out on the shoot. Next item is a rocket air or some kind of air blower if you do end up with a small sensor spot when you're shooting f8, 11, 16, or any tight aperture like that. You may notice small spots on your sensor. If they're bad enough that they're affecting the image and you don't know how much you can do about them in post, just take this guy, turn your body upside down, put a few pumps of air into it, and most of the time it'll remove the dirt so you can keep shooting. Next up is a pretty important item, even though it rarely leaves my bag. It's a speed light. This is just the mid-range Sony speed light. I just use this one, but any proprietary speed light will probably work, or even some of the off-brands like the Yongnuo speed lights are fine. I just carry this for just about everything. So if I'm shooting portraits, obviously I can bounce it off of things and shoot all kinds of different subject matter. For landscape, I really like using it if I do have to add light to a certain part of the image. So guys, the last but most crucial item in my bag, minus my camera and lenses, is spare memory cards. I've lost cards in the middle of shoots before, and if you don't have a spare, it can be devastating because it just ends your day most of the time, unless you can get that card that decided to dump all your data to work again, but even then you don't have much assurance at that point. So it's good to keep spares. Generally, I keep this little Pelican case memory card wallet with about 6 spare cards in them. That may not be practical for everybody, but having at least one is a really good option. You can throw them in the case they come in, keep it in your bag, and then if you do happen to lose a card, you can put a new one in and keep shooting. That's assuming you have a camera that has one card slot. If you've got one with dual card slots, maybe a second card would also be nice to have. So guys, thanks for watching. Those are just a few items I like to carry with me if I got to run a very, very minimalist setup and I'm not allowed to take a lot of gear, or my backpack with me that has all my equipment. So that's the stuff I take with me that will just get the job done. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please tune into the next video, and if you like any of the content here on the channel, please subscribe, and I will see you later.